Good evening. I'd like to call this special board meeting to order of the Cedar Falls Board of Education with the reminder that the actions taken at this table will focus on our students. And I will now turn this meeting over to Dr. Patty for the elementary furniture bids.
Yes, we're excited to talk through and go over our elementary furniture bids. They came in under budget, which we're really excited about as well. And we have a short presentation to go through this process and also, or just some of the bids, as well as to talk about just the overall process. I don't know if we're going to have Doug start with the PowerPoint or the bids, or have Dan and Andrea.
Well, being the fact nobody wants to stand up at once, I guess I'll start. Like I said, we had sent out RFPs for the furniture process. We did this similar to what we would do with any other construction project. These items were posted, notice was in the newspaper, the Courier. It was also on the Master Builders of Iowa website, as well as the district website, just like we would any other construction project. And we do have the bids that have come in, and what we've done is we've sort of broke it down by building. So you can see these are the bids that we received for the different pieces of furniture that we will need for Aldrich Elementary School. We have 5 different companies out of a total of 5 that submitted bids. All 5 of them will receive a portion of the overall bid, and you can see the total is just over $600,000 for the furniture and equipment for Aldrich. For North Cedar Elementary, again, the same 5 bidders, all that bid on the various items will receive a piece of the puzzle, and that amounts just under $226,000. And then here's Orchard Hill Elementary. Again, all 5 bidders that submitted bids would receive a little bit of the work, and the total is a little over $337,000. And then here, what we're showing is the grand total, so you can see that the total furniture amount for the 3 projects is $1,165,739. That is approximately $50,000 under our original budget estimate. So they did come in slightly under estimate. And again, you can see the breakdown per building. And with that, I will turn it over to Dan Channer and Andrea Kuchera from Structure Architects, and then they can kind of walk a little bit more through the overall process. Mrs. Ziegler from the district was a part of that. The district did use a committee of staff members to review the potential furniture options, and those staff members received samples. The district received samples back in November, if I remember correctly. Students had an opportunity to try it all out. They were in various classrooms at a couple of different elementaries to sort of try out some of the items, and then from that the process was whittled down towards the final RFP that the board approved a month or so ago, and then it went out. So I'll turn it over to these 2 fine individuals, and we can go from there.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Thank you for calling the special meeting so we can keep this all rolling forward. We want to get it ordered. So through the process, Andrea worked real hard getting the drawings put together and the original specs, and then during the time that it was being bid, you put out 2 addendums, was it? So from people calling asking to be able to use different materials, and some of those we did end up using. So we thought that went very well. We were pretty happy with the response we got from the various vendors. So we're pretty happy with the way it went together, and we would recommend that you award to those 5 different companies in the amounts that Doug has shown you.
And I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago when we first introduced this at a board meeting. This has been a long process and very in-depth process. We started with visiting schools and going around and looking at furniture. We actually had staff that went down to Kansas City. There was a furniture conference where they had an opportunity to look and engage with furniture designs and what best fits student needs and what might best fit our design to make sure that we're taking advantage of the collaborative spaces and certainly what we believe is essential with kind of critical thinking and learning components. From there, we had committees. We brought in furniture and samples, and students had a chance to give feedback on what was comfortable, what they liked, what they didn't like. Staff gave the same feedback, and what I'm so happy about is this is, and again, this isn't what I'm happy about, but it leads to the point. This is the most convoluted bid spec sheet that I think I've ever seen, and it's due to the fact that we really set the specifications, then allowed alternatives to be submitted so we could get the best prices necessary for the furniture that meets our students' needs, meets our staff needs, meets our community needs. And I think that took a large amount of work, but certainly very much appreciated.
Andre did a great job.
So I mean, I can't imagine how complex this would be with all these different vendors, all the different type of furniture. I mean, were you able to like stratify it based on, certain type and said, okay, I've got 3 acceptable bidders that maybe could hear? So, I mean, because I'm sure not all desks are built alike and different price points and stuff like.
Right, yep, so everything is broken down kind of by category, if you will. So within seating, it was broken down by, let's say, student seating, and then maybe stools. And then some of those categories got broke down even further because we had people submit alternates, but maybe they were not submitting an alternate for that entire original package that we had to be awarded to a dealer. So we ended up, I think, looking at 18 different alternates, which is a lot, actually, for a furniture bid. And within there, like I said, that would encompass, we looked at alternates for student seating and different lounge chairs and different ottomans, from the whole gamut of things. From student seating to soft seating to tables and such. So it was a very good response, I found, and had a lot of interest from the standpoint of submitting alternates, which obviously then creates a great competitive bid situation, which we were happy to have, and have that effort and participation from vendors and dealers.
And what I'm really excited about too, and Mrs. Coyle pointed this out, if you go back to the slide on the PowerPoint that's up right now, you'll see that the majority of the vendors are coming from what I would call the Cedar Valley.
Yeah.
Waterloo, Waverly, Cedar Falls, and Des Moines is there. One from out of state, but certainly this is a community project with community support, and a lot of these dollars are going back to some of our community partners. Very exciting.
I think it was really good too, because with some of the alternates, then Andrea was able to call us and say, hey, we've got this alternate and we've got a sample here, can you run down and look at it? Because one of the things we found with visiting other schools was they said some of the furniture, if the kids didn't feel it's comfortable, they're not going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Does the bid include delivery and setup?
Yes, so delivery and installation, haul away, all of that is all included. So each vendor and dealer is responsible. That will be a coordination.
Opportunity.
Yes. When that time comes to have all of the dealers there to install the furniture, and they take it by plan and how we've laid it out, and everything is coded and labeled on the plans, and they're responsible for taking those to those spaces and setting it up per plan. So when the teachers arrive, everything will be ready to go basically from that standpoint. And then they haul all the cardboard out and clean up, and everything should be ready to go.
And just pure economies of scale, it makes sense to purchase everything collectively at the same time. However, all the projects aren't done at the same time, which just creates that opportunity where there's going to be some scheduling challenges.
That's correct.
Yeah, we've given, the dates that we're projecting, everything is going to be needed to them. And if we need to pull something forward, we can probably do that. We're talking at Orchard Hill, potentially trying to move a couple of the classrooms up as to when they're going to be completed. So in an effort to complete earlier in the whole process. So we're just working through all of those different pieces.
Just as a reminder, this is paid for through some of the bond dollars, some of our PEPO dollars, as well as some building level dollars. So,
Do we have a sense, I've been in some classrooms where I think the kids that are sitting in there can find their grandparents' initials carved into some of the furniture. But, so I know we need a balance of utility on these pieces, and we have a broad spectrum of pieces, but any sense of what kind of lifespan we'll get out of this furniture? That's too broad a question.
Well, it will last as long as it doesn't get destroyed from that standpoint. There is limited lifetime warranties on majority of items. There are some items that may be less than limited lifetime. Obviously, that sets some parameters too on what that means to each manufacturer. But, giving you a number of years, I can't really say that, but, with use, it's all furniture that is contract made. It's made for commercial use. It's made for educational use as well. So from that standpoint, they know that there's a high abuse rate from that perspective. And I feel comfortable knowing that it'll be long-lasting.
Right.
And from that standpoint as well, the dealers that have all bid and are providing products are all great, reputable companies that we work with a lot. And so, they are all willing to be there when something might happen, if the caster breaks or something like that, they're there to help you out with that kind of thing at that point in time and work with those warranty issues if that is the case.
So I think that answers my question. This is good quality furniture that we should have faith that this will last.
I was going to comment that a lot of the vendors that we're looking at, we've done business with them before, so we know them. A lot of the equipment that we're purchasing are from manufacturers that we currently have in the district. Han would be an example, Fire King, Seco, some of those. Those that maybe are new to us, I have reached out to a couple of other school districts across the state that have bought from that particular company, and they've come back and said that they've had good results or good use with it. So I didn't, in my background checking, I didn't see anything that we haven't dealt with before that threw a red flag up. We're pretty confident with what we're getting is going to be high quality.
and I would say the confidence level's even higher because we had students test out a lot of this furniture to give us feedback and be able to say, this doesn't feel as sturdy or maybe as comfortable as this. So we know we have very high quality and something that will last hopefully multiple years.
With the chairs, we even had, one day one of the principals said a student was sitting on a chair a way it wasn't necessarily mean to be sat on. And so we thought, we'll do our own little test. So we tipped it upside down and we stood on the different brands. And we kind of even compared things that way.
You didn't hear that, did you?
I didn't know that. I do know that.
Exercise.
I do know that the podium that we're going to have at Aldrich, that's basically being custom made for us, and that firm is out of Wisconsin, and we have done business with them before, and they do absolutely outstanding work for us, and I have no doubt that those podiums will be built exactly the way that we've set them up, and we'll probably be able to park a Sherman tank on top of it.
Can I ask, this is probably for Andy and Doug. Aldrich is a new school, so we're outfitting it with new furniture entirely, but the other two projects, Orchard Hill and North Cedar, are existing buildings, and I'm assuming that some of this furniture will replace outdated furniture that's already there. Just to share with us and with the public, like furniture that is outdated and needs to be replaced but may still have a little bit of useful life in it. What's our process for what happens to that old furniture?
There's two parts to that question. So yes, the new additions and spaces being remodeled will get new furniture. Then what happens is there are some pieces that might have been purchased by the building because the building budgets allow for furniture replacement. They might be moved to other locations in the building, so the Most outdated furniture pieces, those that might have grandparents' initials carved them, will be taken out of basically circulation. What we always do then is we will have district auctions at different times. There are some things that we might get a free sample from a vendor that we never use that we will put in an auction. Outdated and older furniture that just is not usable anymore, we'll put in that auction. And typically about 2 months before the auction occurs, we will actually send emails out to staff that says, we're having an auction. If you have some furniture needs, go down, mark it, we'll bring it to your building. Please clear that with your principal first, because we don't want to bring older furniture into newer spaces or outdated spaces, but we really work to capture the educational benefit if there are some pieces that we still want to keep in some spaces or classrooms across the district.
And otherwise, it's auction to the public, right?
Yes, it's a public auction, open to anybody.
And that, the board will typically approve the sale of those items. That comes to the board, and then it has to be published in the newspaper at least once, maybe not twice. And so there's a process that we walk through, and it'll be very public, and everybody will have an opportunity to bid on those items if they so choose to.
Thank you.
How many old pieces do we suspect will be retired at North Cedar and?
More than 10.
Yeah. As you look at the remodeled spaces from the classrooms that we're remodeling, and I don't have the exact number, but I'm guessing it's probably 6 to 8 at Orchard Hill and probably 4 to 8 at North Cedar. And then when you look at the additional spaces that we're creating and adding on, then they're not going to be retired because there's nothing there currently.
Right, yep.
And your number might even be a little low, as I was counting them off in my head, yeah.
Right.
Be a pretty significant amount.
Include the cafeterias.
Exactly, correct.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the furniture bid?
I move to approve the following furniture and equipment bids for the Aldridge, North Cedar, and Orchard Hill Elementary School projects. Frank Cooney Company, Wooddale, Illinois, $306,467.30. Kirk Gross Company, Waterloo, Iowa, $164,157.85. Cook Brothers Incorporated, Des Moines, Iowa, $28,246.65. Premier Furniture and Equipment, Waverly, Iowa, $305,339.32. Story Kenworthy, Cedar Falls, Iowa, $361,528.06.
Thank you, Sasha. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Eric. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
It's been moved by Jeff Hassman. Do I have a second? Then seconded by Susie. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.